guys, let's make this happen. This is our game, man. Our time. Let's do this.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is straight out of Boston here, aka the King of Boston, and today we're back with episode 45 of the tragic Bronson My Career. And today we're going up against the Miami Heat, and this is just after the All-Star break, of course. So anyway, first off, I want to apologize if I sound a little bit different. I'm a little bit sick. I'm not that sick. I don't really know if I sound any different, but I'm sure you guys will notice if I do. And anyway, let's get into what I want to talk about in this video. As you probably have figured out by the title, is whether or not it's time to blow up the Lakers. Now, the timing is a little bit fitting, considering I'm considering not really blowing up the Pistons in my association, but definitely changing the way the team and the roster is formed. Now, in my opinion, I think the Lakers should move on. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. I think it's time to look at trade offers for Dwight and maybe even Steve Nash too. I don't really know what his value is, but either way, I think he actually might have like I don't know what his contract is like, so that's kind of up in the air. But anyway, it's just time to move on from Dwight and kind of move forward and try to acquire some assets for the future. So the reason I think this is because now I've been a big believer in that the Lakers are going to make the playoffs this entire time. I always thought it was ridiculous how people thought they were going to have to win like 30 of their last 40 games to make it to the playoffs, when this whole time they've been like 3 games out of the 8th seed, and like you don't have to win 30 out of 40 games to make up a 3-game deficit to a team that's like 5 games over 500. So I mean, that was kind of ridiculous. Other people said that, but the reason I don't think the Lakers are going to make the playoffs is because, as we've seen over the last kind of month or so, Kobe has turned into this, well, not really a month, but like last few weeks. Kobe has turned into the facilitator on that team. He's playing point guard more than Steve Nash is. Steve Nash has turned into a spot-up shooter, quite frankly. And that seems to be working for the Lakers. It seems to be getting teammates involved. They're playing with a lot more chemistry now. And, you know, it seems like they're just playing better basketball. Better, you know, the ball moves around more. Guys cut more off ball. The defense has been improved. Maybe it's from an edgy standpoint, more guys getting involved makes them want to play defense or something. I don't know what that is about, but I think now with the Pau Gasol injury and Dwight clearly being banged up, I mean, a torn labrum isn't a thing that just goes away. He's going to need surgery on that in the offseason more than likely, and it will definitely hurt him. He'll probably be at 85 to 90% at most for the rest of the year. So with those two, your biggest offensive weapons, probably your second and third biggest offensive weapons, being completely neutralized almost. And look at the and one through right there. I think Kobe can't be a facilitator. I think that he has to go back to being a scorer. Now, I don't mean that in that, you know, he definitely should still try to get Earl Clark involved and Jody Meeks and Antoine Jameson and Steve Nash, but someone has to make up for the 17 points per game you lose from Dwight, which is probably going to turn into closer to 13 or 14, and the 15 you get from Pau. I mean, you have to make up for that somehow, and I don't think Kobe trusts the rest of his guys enough to do that. So I think he's going to turn back into this kind of scoring role we saw it the other night in Boston when he had 27 points and 0 assists. You know, I think he's going to kind of resort back to that. I know in the game last night against Charlotte, I think he only had like 2 shots at the half or something, but it clearly wasn't working. It's clear that Pau Gasol and Dwight Howard were 2 of the guys that he was definitely trying to facilitate too. And with them, you know, Dwight's going to play, but he's going to be a shell of himself, quite frankly. And him and Kobe clearly don't have the best chemistry. I think Dwight's gone after this year. I think that I'll get into that after the half, and that kind of goes along with why I think they should trade him. But anyway, I think the Lakers are gonna. I think Kobe's gonna revert back to his old self, and I think that's just not gonna work for the Lakers. D'Antoni's system really doesn't work with that team, so Kobe kind of has to do his own thing, and I think that when he does do his own thing, he's just going to struggle. So anyway, halftime is about to come. We have 27 points and 4 assists right now. We're going to end up getting 29 before we go into the half, and I'll be right back.
And so we wrap up the first half. Heat out front, up by 9. 56. We'll take a quick break, then get you 65. Back to the action. Now, presented by Sprint.
Glad you're spending Saturday night with us. Let's check out what's happened so far. Miami up on top against Golden State. They're currently sitting in second place in the conference. They'd like to build upon that position. LeBron James is having himself a big-time performance. His shooting percentage...
All right, so we're back with the start of the second half. Sorry, that halftime report was a little bit short. I think I cut it out like halfway through by accident, but I just hit the X button when I was playing or whatever. But anyway, so what I'm talking about the second half of this commentary now is why the Lakers should trade Dwight Howard, which kind of goes along with them not making the playoffs, and why I think Dwight's going to be gone after the season. Now, Dwight obviously is at the point in his career where he wants to get a ring. Him and Melo are kind of the two big-name superstars, and Durant too, but I don't consider Durant because he's still pretty young. But Dwight and Melo have been in the league for a while now. They both have done so much in this league, but neither have a ring. And Dwight certainly wants to get a ring. That's why he went to L.A. And I think that he's going to be gone at the end of this year because he's clearly not having a good time in L.A. The team's not winning. Him and Kobe are constantly feuding through the media, no less, not even through, with each other. I mean, I've heard reports that they haven't talked to themselves personally about the whole playing through the injury thing. Kobe just went straight to the media, and Dwight really didn't have a comment on the situation aside from that he thinks he is trying to play through the pain. But anyway, so clearly, Kobe and Dwight's relationship hasn't been good. And I think that the D'Antoni-Dwight relationship is finally gone downhill. I believe Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless, one of them on First Take, said that if the bridge isn't burning yet, but it's certainly been set on fire the other night in Boston on Thursday. And the reason I think this is because Dwight was in the game when the Lakers were down 25 points with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And he was in the game with, like, Steve Blake and Jody Meeks and, the rest of the second unit at that point. And, Dwight is the type of guy that he's not sensitive, but he takes those type of things personally. And he clearly, when Dwight doesn't get along with a coach, what am I trying to say here? He has the ability to let his relationship with his coach get in front of his play. We saw that at the end of last year with, Stan Van Gundy. And I always get those two confused, Stan and Jeff. But anyway, I believe it was Stan. I don't know. You know what I mean. The old coach of the Magic. One of them was Stan or Jeff Van Gundy. I'm pretty sure it was Stan. But anyway, he clearly let that get in the way of his play, and then eventually decided to have his back surgery or whatever. Midway through kind of the second half of the season, and kind of pulled a Shaquille O'Neal. And if you guys remember when Shaquille O'Neal, when he intentionally had his, I believe, foot surgery or something, right at the beginning of the season so that he could miss, I don't know, half the 2003 season or something like that. So it was something stupid like that. I can't remember what exactly it was, but, I don't think Dwight, I don't think Dwight obviously had a choice to have that surgery or not, but I think it was just kind of at the point that he didn't really care that he was going to miss the rest of the season. He wanted out of Orlando anyway, and I think that at that point everyone knew he was going to be traded. So I think a similar situation is beginning to develop in LA. And I think, if Jim Buss, I don't know, Jim Buss is such an arrogant, I don't want to call him a prick, but he's just such an ignorant and arrogant type of person that, I don't know if his ego will let him trade Dwight Howard, but I think it would be smart if the Lakers try to deal him, try to get some of those picks back that they lost for him, and, just move on, quite frankly, from him. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this video. So I thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy. We end up, I believe, losing. I wasn't even paying attention to the gameplay, but yeah, we lose to the Miami Heat. And you can see the not the player of the game highlights, but the post-game highlights here. That's going to wrap it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy. This is Matt. Peace.
Lost the game tonight with the way your shots were falling. I was surprised the team didn't ride you a little bit more in the second half. Any idea why that didn't happen?
I don't know. I had a few opportunities that I was able to take advantage of, but there's only so much you can do. I knew I had the hot hand, but coach felt it was important to let the offense stay within the normal flow, so I wouldn't have minded getting in a few more looks, but we tried some other things and it just didn't work out. We'll probably switch